At 60, Sandra Bullock doesn't talk about fame, fortune, or the spotlight that has followed her for decades. Instead, she opens up about 5 people whose lives have been forever touched by her kindness, strength, and quiet mentorship. What makes this Hollywood icon so beloved isn't just her Oscar-winning talent, it's the way she lifts others when no one is watching. Behind the laughter, the red carpets, and the blockbuster hits lies a woman who believes in giving back and turning her success into a bridge for others to cross. Through these 5 stories, we'll see not the star, but the soul behind the fame, the woman who listens, encourages, and transforms lives with a simple act of care. And here are the 5 people who were forever changed by the heart of Sandra Bullock. Number 5, Lily Collins, the girl who found her confidence. When Lily Collins first arrived in Hollywood, she was known mostly for her famous last name, not for her talent. Behind the scenes, she often battled insecurity, the pressure to live up to expectations, the constant rejections, the quiet fear that maybe she didn't belong. During the filming of The Blind Side, Sandra Bullock noticed the young actress sitting alone, nervously rehearsing her lines. Sandra approached her not as a star, but as a human being who understood what it felt like to be overlooked. She smiled, sat beside Lily, and said softly, "You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just have to love what you do." That single sentence, spoken with warmth and sincerity, stayed with Lily long after the cameras stopped rolling. Over the next few weeks, Sandra continued to encourage her, reminding her to breathe, to trust her instincts, to embrace the awkward moments instead of hiding from them. Lily later shared in interviews that Bullock made the set feel safe and showed her what true professionalism and compassion looked like. Years later, when Lily found her own success in Emily in Paris, she said she carried those lessons from Sandra with her. "She believed in me before I believed in myself," Lily said. Sandra taught me that grace and confidence can coexist, that you can be kind and still be strong." For Lily Collins, Sandra Bullock wasn't just a co-star. She was a quiet mentor, a reminder that kindness can change the course of a young woman's life, sometimes with just a few honest words spoken at the right time. Number 4, Harry Connick Jr., the man who rediscovered his fire. When Hope Floats began filming in the late 1990s, Harry Connick Jr. was at a crossroads. Known mostly as a musician, he was stepping into Hollywood with uncertainty. The cameras, the expectations, the weight of performing next to one of the biggest movie stars in the world. It was intimidating. Sandra Bullock, already a rising star then, could have kept her distance. Instead, she chose to notice. She saw the same vulnerability she once felt early in her own career, that quiet question behind every take. Am I good enough? Between scenes, Sandra would offer encouragement in her easy, down-to-earth way. "Don't overthink it," she told him once. "Just be yourself. That's what people love about you." She laughed with him, challenged him, and made him forget the pressure. Harry later said that Bullock's warmth on set changed everything. She helped him find his rhythm as an actor, and more importantly, reminded him why he loved storytelling in the first place. Their friendship lasted long after the film ended. Years later, in interviews, Harry called Sandra a light, someone who believed in him without conditions. "She doesn't just make movies," he said. "She makes people better." Even today, when he speaks about Hope Floats, he credits her for helping him rediscover his spark, both as an artist and as a person. Sandra Bullock didn't just share the screen with Harry Connick Jr. She shared something rarer, the kind of support that rekindles confidence and restores faith in one's own path. Number 3, Ryan Reynolds, the friend who found his balance. When Ryan Reynolds met Sandra Bullock on the set of The Proposal in 2009, he was at a turning point in his career. Hollywood saw him as the charming comedian, but behind the humor was a man searching for balance between fame, failure, and a need to be taken seriously as an actor. Sandra noticed it right away. Their chemistry on screen was effortless, but it was their friendship off screen that left a lasting mark. Sandra had walked the same tightrope before, being underestimated, labeled, pushed to prove her worth. She understood the exhaustion of trying to please everyone. Between takes, she would tease him, laugh with him, but also listen. One afternoon, when Ryan confessed that he sometimes doubted his choices, Sandra told him, "You're allowed to rest, you're allowed to grow. Even superheroes need to step out of costume sometimes." It wasn't advice from a co-star, it was empathy from someone who knew. Years later, when Reynolds' career took off again, from Deadpool to becoming one of Hollywood's most beloved figures, he often mentioned that Sandra's friendship was grounding. "She's the definition of grace," he once said, "and she never made me feel small for struggling." Sandra's influence wasn't loud or public. It was steady, quiet, the kind that lingers in the heart. Through laughter, patience, and genuine care, she reminded Ryan Reynolds that success doesn't have to come at the cost of peace, that the truest strength often lies in stillness. For Sandra, friendship was mentorship, and for Ryan, it be number 2, Hoda Kotb, the woman who found courage through love. Hoda Kotb and Sandra Bullock first connected not as celebrity and journalist, but as two women who shared a quiet bond: motherhood through adoption. When Hoda interviewed Sandra about her journey of becoming a mother, she didn't expect to leave the studio changed. But Sandra's honesty and warmth that day would stay with her for years. Sandra spoke with a kind of grace that came from experience: the sleepless nights, the fear of doing it alone, the beauty of unconditional love. "Family," she said softly, "isn't something you're given. It's something you build with your heart." Those words struck a chord in Hoda. At the time, she was still uncertain about whether she could be a mother herself. In the months that followed, they stayed in touch. Sandra became a quiet source of strength, encouraging Hoda to trust her instincts, to listen to her heart, to believe that love was enough. When Hoda eventually adopted her first daughter, she shared publicly that Sandra Bullock had given her the courage to take that step. Their friendship blossomed into something genuine and rare in the world of fame: mutual respect and emotional support. Hoda has said, "Sandra made me feel seen in a way that few people ever have. She didn't tell me what to do, she just reminded me that I could." Sandra's kindness didn't come from grand gestures. It came from listening, understanding, and showing up, quietly, consistently, like sunlight filtering through clouds. Through Hoda Kotb's story, we see the heart of Sandra Bullock, a woman who inspires others not by teaching them how to live, but by helping them believe they already can. Number 1, the students of Warren Easton Charter High School, the generation she chose to believe in. For Sandra Bullock, giving back has never been about grand headlines or photo ops. It has always been about showing up, quietly, consistently, when people need it most. After Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans in 2005, Sandra heard about Warren Easton Charter High School, one of the city's oldest public schools, nearly destroyed by the storm. Most would have moved on. Sandra did the opposite. She visited the campus, met the teachers, and listened to the students' stories of loss and resilience. There were no cameras that day, just Sandra in jeans and a t-shirt, walking the halls of a school that had nearly lost everything. When she learned they needed funds to rebuild, she didn't hesitate. She donated hundreds of thousands of dollars and continued to support scholarships for graduating seniors every year after. But it wasn't the money that left an impression, it was her heart. She attended graduations, spoke to students, hugged parents, and reminded them that their dreams mattered. In one memorable ceremony, she told the class, "Do not let the world tell you what you can't do. You are already proof that hope survives everything." Those words became a mantra for many students who went on to college, often the first in their families to do so. Sandra never asked for credit. Her name isn't carved into the walls of the school, but it lives in the stories of the young people she believed in. Because for Sandra Bullock, success isn't measured by fame. It's measured by how many others rise because you refuse to let them fall. 5 people, 5 lives. Each one changed in quiet but profound ways by the kindness, patience, and strength of a woman who has spent her life lifting others. From a nervous young actress to a mother searching for courage, from a friend rediscovering purpose to an entire generation of students, Sandra Bullock's impact extends far beyond the screen. At 60, she no longer seeks the spotlight that once defined her. Instead, she chooses the softer light, and the kind that warms, not blinds. She gives, listens, and loves without needing applause. That is her true legacy. Those who know her best say that Sandra's greatness lies not in her fame, but in her quiet faith in people, her belief that everyone deserves to be seen, to be reminded of their worth. Perhaps that is what makes her story timeless. Not the awards, not the box office numbers, but the invisible thread she weaves between hearts. Because in the end, the brightest stars are not the ones that shine for themselves, but the ones that help others find their own light.